Today I'm going to show you how to calibrate the Svantek 973 Class 2 sound meter, but this also applies to the 971 Class 1 sound meter as well. So I have the meter. I'm going to turn this on with the pushing these two buttons at the same time. The meter will start to boot up, and I have my calibrator here. This is the Class 2 calibrator, the SV34B. I've removed the windscreen and also this protective cover here. When we remove this cover, we want to pull this straight off and not rotate it at all. And I'll show you more about why we don't want to do that later. But so I have the meter running, and I'm going to click on the calibrator, and there is a video on adding the batteries to this or changing the batteries in this, and also changing the batteries in the meter. But that's in a separate video. So I've got the windscreen removed. I'm going to click on the calibrator. I'll put it over the end of the sound meter. And we let it sit there. And you can see that it's getting close to one. This is a 114 decibel calibrator. Okay, so it's picked up the calibrators attached. It's starting the calibration. It should finish in a second. And it shows the new factor, and I can enter to accept that. And I'm ready to use the meter now. Now, just as if I put the meter back into the calibrator, I would get a different reading than the 114 because it's designed to be used with this windscreen all the time. There is a setting you can change. But basically that's the difference so there's a bit of a compensation for when this is in. So anyway, so getting into this a bit more now, if I go into the menu, I can actually go through and I can look at under function if I go into calibration, so I can so I use the automatic calibration that I showed you. If I went into calibration this way, I could do the same calibration here by measurement. I can also look at the calibration history here and go through each one of the recorded histories. So that's really the basics of the calibration. Now, sometimes a post calibration is required where you've done this. You should do this calibration before doing any measurements each day. Usually one a day is okay, or if the unit's dropped or there's any issue there, you may want to check the calibration. Um, for some applications, you want to do your measurements and come back and then put the calibrator back on and do a post calibration. And you could also do that, and it would compare. That way, you'd know if the post calibration is close to the initial calibration. You know your data is good. So that basically covers the calibration. Now, I wanted to get into the reason why when you put this into the calibrator, or if you're taking this off, we want to be sure that we remove this straight and not turn it. The reason is that this top section, like it's a really nice design that this top section here is the microphone module. And this part here with you can see it here on some of the other meters, it's just shiny. There's not these serrations. I'll turn this off. And I wouldn't recommend, I'm just going to show you this. I'm going to loosen up this retaining nut, and I'll remove this. This is just, you should never really need to do this. The microphone is a MEMS microphone. It basically is a version of the microphone that's in your cell phone, but a way better version with very good specifications. But also, like your cell phone microphone, is very rugged. But the reason we don't want to rotate this is that this is a connection into the meter. So if I was to put this in and rotate it, I may risk damaging the connector here. And on different meters, it's slightly different. But basically, this is why. Now, if you ever needed to replace the microphone, it's not a problem. You just get the new microphone, pop this in, and put the nut on. You just want to make it finger tight, basically. Now put the nut back in place. And again, just finger tight. And I'm ready to go take measurements.